The UFC had fights at 4:15 and 5 a.m. local time in Manchester, England this past weekend. For shoot, in a packed arena, 4:15 a.m. is when Paddy the Baddy Pimblett tapped out, choked out, completely unconscious. King Ryan, that's Garcia. King
Desmond?
I forget he was supposed to beat Paddy, though. Paddy was allegedly, the internet thought this guy was going to beat Paddy. Instead, he goes for a double shoot, and Paddy just fought easy.
Yeah.
How you doing? Triangle, a couple different times. And broke his arm, and the guy was completely unconscious. Night, 4:15 a.m. They weren't the last fight.
No, there's actually 2 more after that.
There's the co-main events came on after.
Yeah.
Aspinall, that knocking people out at like 5 a.m. local time. There was people snoozing in the arena, but there was not a lot of that. There was an electric crowd. This place was alive. I couldn't even fathom the amount of whatever was being taken in that arena to keep the energy and keep the juice. But that was why. That was crazy. I fell asleep. I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it to the end. They're at 5 a.m. Good on you.
Yeah, that's all. Unreal.
That's a whole. If you're playing on that, you got to plan like in advance. Hey, are you going to sleep up until 10 p.m.? Like, what are you going to do? How do you schedule your whole day?
Legitimately, I have no idea if they told him. And I guess as soon as they got the tickets, they were like, "Mate, it's not."
No,
right?
Doing it on East Coast time.
Too late. Too late, man.
Mate, we need this. No, we're doing all night. Dana afterwards wasn't pumped about a lot of the effort.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he
that
was
was
not.
awesome. That was awesome.
3 a.m. I bet you they're saying, Dana, give us another opportunity.
Late.
4 a.m.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Leon's from there.
Yeah.
So it's not like
So is Aspinall.
it's not like he's Eastern, and just came over there. It's like
No.
his entire life.
Yeah, like the only guys where it would be like, okay, fine, would be all the guys training on the West Coast, where it's like, okay, well, maybe they can stay on.
All right,
West Coast
boys, we're
time.
third shifters tonight, just like the old days.
Yeah.
Come on. The backbone of any country is those who will work all night. That's us tonight. Let's wake up. Let's have juice. Let's go into that cage and let's win this fight. That was crazy. It was all hitting me in real time, too. I didn't know. We had not looked into it enough. I was like, oh, this is Paddy's fight. Okay, this is good news. I want to see Paddy fight. He's entertaining. I'm like, oh, this had to be earlier. Now look at that. It's live. Holy shit.
Excuse me?
I thought it was a typo. I looked up what time the card started, and it was like 10 o'clock Eastern time. I was like, but they're over. How'd
Hey.
that work? Yeah.
Hey, that might be the new game. We got 3 a.m. shows.
Yeah.
You got to bring it and prepare. We'll be back tomorrow with more bullshit, to be honest. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice about change their life. Right? I missed it. I don't know. Hit it.
No, you got it.
I think you got it.
It got a little close.
got it.
You don't know, AJ. You don't know. You don't have a.
None of us do actually, so we're good.
Yes, we do. We
they
got a
do.
clock.
We know.
Yeah.
We know. We got a clock right there.
Same time every day on that
The
clock.
salute was in.
Yeah, you got
There
it.
you go.
Got it.
Good news. Good news. Some of the sports they need to. Ben Roethlisberger took a.
That was
Sorry,
great.
what?
I thought I didn't know if I was having like a brain aneurysm or like what was going on. It was right before the Paddy the Baddy fight, and I can't remember what they were talking about, but just boom, up comes like a Big Ben bad on third down or like third down miscue graphic. Yeah, this graphic.
Show it like celebs in the crowd.
4 times.
Yeah, and then so
What?
they pull it down like, okay, obviously this is a graphic from like 5 years ago. Let's get this off there. And then 2 seconds later, boom, right back up. They pull it down. 6 seconds after that, boom, the Big Ben one right back up there. So I'm guessing the people in the control room were maybe a little sleepy as well. It's like, well,
How do you even pull that? You had to dig deep into the
exactly.
3 a.m. toss a Ben Roethlisberger thing.
Yeah, no one will notice. Who gives a shit? Let's remind people how bad Big Ben was on third down in 2017.
What's that all about, Tone? I think that's a little bit of a narrative shaper, don't you think?
Yeah, I didn't love what was going on there. Obviously, ESPN back in the day was spitting narratives that weren't true, and they decided to keep that in the holster and launch it on Saturday night. It's absurd.
I watch those. I enjoy watching those fights.
They're awesome.
Yeah, those atmospheres too over there.
It had to
were-
be, that graphic had to be something about Big Ben, like the clock tower, right? And they just pulled up the
Definitely.
wrong file.
Like a live shot of Big Ben or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Back to Big Ben.
Yeah.
Back to Big Ben.
Were the fights that bad that Dana was that mad?
I only watched the final 3. Well, I didn't get to the last. I fell asleep because it was so late. It was, I don't know how they stayed up. I don't know.
First 2 on the main card were bad, like very boring.
He was pissed, right, Ty? Wasn't he pissed that people were saying, hey, you need to get bigger knockout bonuses or something beforehand? They were arguing, like, hey, up the knockout bonuses. And then Dana said, okay, I'm never doing that because I was not happy with what
he
went on.
said he raised it to 100K, and then he was like, these guys don't even fucking care. I mean, he's 2 fights sucked. They don't even fucking care. It's bullshit. And then, I think a lot of people were saying, like, well, then, it's
4 a.m.
5 o'clock in the morning. These guys are a little sleepy. So
Could you imagine that arena? So impressed with that arena. They were singing. Obviously, there's going to be pictures of people falling asleep, but during those entrances, people were alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like 4:30 a.m. When was the last time? I'm an old man.
I don't know if that's ever happened.
Yeah, because the ones that they did in Dubai or whatever, or the England ones before, they started at like 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Dude, you gotta.
In the afternoon.
You said you got to shape your entire week. You got to start preparing for that like 5 days out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like whenever you have a night game, and some coaches change those morning practices and night practices because we've been doing bad during prime time. We got to at least practice in the late afternoon. Kind of see how it all goes. What a wild time. I watched the fights though.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out to Manchester. You guys showed up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Patty too.
Yeah.
Patty's rocket ship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, England just celebrates the bag like nobody else.
That's, a lot of people were saying that.
Well, some of the videos of people outside actually like, oh, and then someone's doing a little bit of blow and everyone goes fucking
4 a.m.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to earlier when I said I don't know how much of whatever was in there.
Yeah, a lot of it.
For an all-night situation. But that is crazy that they did that. I didn't expect all the people to say Patty was going to get his ass beat, though. I thought we knew.
Yeah, I believe Gumpy told me this because at least the people in England didn't like Patty.
They were on his side completely.
Yes, they were.
When he came out,
oh, Patty the Patty.
And he's doing this entire thing with his song. His actual intro, because I assume Jack White won't let him use Seven Nation Army.
Yeah, probably.
Which we have found out a couple times as well in much smaller request than that whole thing. They were completely behind him because he pulled for Spain, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's why the whole entire thing with like, I don't know if Patty's going to win.
But all the mixed martial arts people were telling me that this guy was going to beat Patty on the internet. Not all of them, but there was more than I expected to tell me.
There's
see a lot of people say that his cardio sucks because he fluctuates so much. He gets real fat after he fights, and then you obviously saw how ripped he was. And they're like, hey, in terms of just like career longevity and everything, like the human body can't physically do that continuously time and time again. But when he's tapping guys out in the first round, like your cardio really doesn't matter.
The last time he won, he said he apologized because it was a boring. He said, I didn't like that. It was a boring win. I'm so sorry. And it's like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we need, this entire thing. When he gets in shape.
He's
shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah, shredded. Jaw, too, like a weapon. Like jaw line, very, very prevalent. Fun to watch him. He's a needle mover.
Yeah.
Absolute needle mover. They know Sugar Sean, obviously, future needle mover, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to get him.
The Sphere, right?
John Jones. Oh, good. Aspinall had a sweet pitch, too.
Who? Petrol Hands?
Oh. Hey, they said that was an early stoppage or whatever.
Against Blades. It kind of felt like that.
It did, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still...
Because
he was going to win somewhere in the next 30 seconds, it felt like.
Yeah.
But that guy, just kind of was eating.
Had him sprawled on his stomach, on top of him. It's like if you do it too late there, that guy's brains are scrambled eggs, so it's kind of a tough...
Yeah, tough spot for the ref.
Yeah.
And once again, for the ref, it was 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, fuck this. Let me get home.
Let's get out of here. Well, you kind of have to stop the fight. Like, you can't just...
Yeah, it was like 10 straight to the head behind him. Now, granted, he did, at the end, kind of look like he was going to try to shoot him off. But then if he does that, he's still coming right back. I think inevitably, whatever's going to happen. But classic UFC, early stoppage, these refs screwing this.
Yeah.